It was a final day defeat to Derby that brought the curtain down on Leeds' championship status 4 seasons ago. But now United are back, and it was perhaps fitting that they should start their campaign against the Rams. Watching the action at a packed Ellen Road is your commentator Peter Brackley.
This is Green now. Again, Leeds were backing off. It's Rob Horse. Terrific finish. Really fine burst here from Paul Green. He's picked out Holson. What a good finish that is. They're through again now. It's Howson. Becchio! And the local boy made good. Johnny Howson. The scorer on the final day last season when they clinched promotion has played a big part here. Such composure. Slipped it on to Luciano Becchio. Here's Kilkenny. Deep pocket straight off the crossbar. Richard Naylor so unlucky then. Here's Commons now. Look how quickly they've got players forward here. Down goes Shifka, and it is a penalty. Sam sliding in, but he just mistimed it. Almost got a goal at the start of the game. He has got one now. And Derby County are back in front. Schmeichel helpless to intervene. Just stroked it in then, Commons. Such composure here. Here's Robbie Savage. Curling in the free kick. Flicked on. And back. Oh, what a stop there, but Barker is there again. Clear off the line. Terrific stuff there from Schmeichel. What a one-handed save there from Kasper Schmeichel.
Well, I think there's a lot of signs of encouragement. I thought we played quite well, actually. We created some good chances, hit the bar a couple of times. We'll have learned from today. I thought there were certain aspects of our game that we need to learn from and do better.
Bristol City manager Steve Coppell arguably pulled off the transfer coup of the summer when he convinced England goalkeeper David James to sign from Portsmouth. The arrival of James has inspired a quiet confidence among City fans that this could be their year. So it came as a bit of a shock when newly promoted Millwall opened the scoring. Kevin Lisby's shot hit the post before falling nicely for Darren Ward. City hadn't lost an opening day fixture in a decade, but they found themselves 2-0 down just 3 minutes after half-time. Danny Schofield with the shot. Ashton Gate was stunned, but the Lions weren't finished there. Kevin Lisby once again was unlucky to hit the woodwork. Paul Robinson making it 3-0. The only negative of an impressive display by Kenny Jackett's side was a second yellow card for new signing Darren Carter after that foul on Albert Adamar. And both sides would eventually finish with 10 men. Again, it was another debutant who saw red, Damien Stewart collecting a second yellow for that foul on Kevin Lisby. 3-0 it finished, a miserable start to championship life for David James. A joyful atmosphere at Selhurst Park ahead of kick-off as Palace fans celebrated their club's survival after nearly going out of business in the summer. Palace, who escaped relegation from the Championship on the final day of last season, got off to an ideal start to this campaign. Wilfried Zaha benefiting from sloppy Leicester defending, the 17-year-old striker's first senior goal for the club. This match saw 2 new managers in charge, George Burley for Palace, Paulo Sousa at Leicester, and Burley was by far the happier in the first half. Darren Ambrose making it 2-0 to the Eagles. The dream start for Burley continued as Palace grabbed a third. Another quick move on the break with the lively Zaha at the heart of it, and Alan Lee won't get many easier chances. Leicester 3-0 down, but definitely not out of it. They really should have had one back soon after. Matty Fryatt with a miss. Leicester came out strongly in the second half and created plenty of chances. They pulled a goal back through Andy King. And the visitors sensed that a comeback could be on. With 6 minutes left, Palace defender Claude Davis was beaten by the bounce of the ball. Steve Howard broke clear to set up DJ Campbell. 3-2 and a suddenly very nervous Selhurst Park. But Palace did just manage to hold on to claim a morale-boosting victory. Scunthorpe travelled to the Medeski Stadium aiming for a first opening day win in 6 seasons, while their hosts were looking for a bright start in their third attempt to return to the Premier League. Last season, Scunthorpe finished 2 places above the bottom 3. They got the perfect start to this campaign, albeit in controversial fashion. Good work from Jonathan Fort before Gary Thompson finished. However, the referee's assistant had clearly raised his flag. But after the referee intervened, the goal stood, much to the dismay of the Reading players. But Reading weren't going to lie down, and the Royals didn't wait long to respond. Last season's top scorer Gylfi Sigurdsson levelling the scores with a fine finish. The hosts ended last season strongly, but they were up against it in this one as the visitors regained their lead on the hour mark. Defender Rob Jones with the header. The home side were by no means out of it though, as the impressive Sigurdsson went just over with that free kick. The hosts continued to press for an equaliser. Simon Church denied by Joe Murphy as Scunthorpe held on. 2-1 was the way it stayed, a crucial opening win for Nigel Adkins. Doncaster Rovers enjoyed a successful season under Sean O'Driscoll last year.
Sharpie hat-trick.
And the permanent signing of Billy Sharp in the summer has increased the positive mood amongst Rovers fans. That optimism seemed well-founded. Rovers taking a 12th-minute lead when James O'Connor hit the shot that may very well have taken a deflection on its way in. Doncaster gained a reputation as one of the division's best passing teams last season, and after another fine attacking move soon found themselves 2-0 up. Andy Lonergan did well to save Sharp's initial effort, but he could do nothing about James Hayter's follow-up. The only downside of an impressive afternoon for Doncaster was the sending off of debutant Simon Gillette. He received a second yellow card for a late challenge on Billy Jones. Preston did have one final chance to get a late consolation goal, but substitute Joshua King's tame effort meant it remained 2-0. It gave Doncaster their first win at Preston in 23 years.
And now to League One on an historic day for Dagenham and Redbridge. The Daggers' first ever game at this level couldn't have been bigger. Sheffield Wednesday are perhaps one of the standout names in League One this season after relegation from the Championship on the final day of last season. They are one of the favourites to make an immediate return and wasted little time in getting their promotion push started. Giles Coates' shot deflecting off the unfortunate Scott Doe. Alan Irvine has brought in no fewer than 9 new signings this summer, 3 of them combined for Wednesday's second. Gary Teale picked out Chris Sedgwick, who then found Clinton Morrison, who'll be hoping this will be the first of many. In fact, the Owls dominated the first half and would have scored 3, but for the intervention of Dagenham's veteran goalkeeper Tony Roberts, denying Marcus Tudgate. John Still's side enjoyed plenty of possession after the restart, but rarely troubled the Owls' keeper Nicky Weaver. Peter Gain did go close late on, but his chipped effort came back off the bar. A flying start for one of the division's promotion favourites. So here are the rest of the results from League One. Fellow promotion favourite Southampton got off to a losing start, going down 1-0 at home to Plymouth. Peterborough's return to League One saw them beat Bristol Rovers 3-0, and last year's champions in League Two were brought back down to earth with a 3-0 defeat at home to Huddersfield. Now to League Two, where a momentous day in the history of Stevenage had the crowds flocking into the newly named Lamex Stadium. The stadium's facilities had denied Borough a place in the Football League 14 years ago. Indeed, so keen were they to get proceedings underway for the club's first ever Football League campaign that the game kicked off 2 minutes early. And it was the home side who was straight into their stride. The honour of scoring last season's Conference champions' first league goal went to Peter Vincenti after 7 minutes. A dream start for the home side. Macclesfield hit back within 5 minutes though. Matt Hamshaw's delivery finding Nat Brown for the equaliser. Eight minutes into the second half, and it looked like Macclesfield were about to poot the party in a big way. Emil Sinclair setting up Tyrone Barnett for the visitors' second. Stevenage went in desperate search of an equaliser, and in the 89th minute, Charlie Griffin showed the sort of composure that helped him net 14 goals last season. It ensured a point on their big day, much to the delight of manager Graham Wesley.
I think we showed that we were young, and I think we showed a little bit of apprehension in our play, which is unlike us. We settled down in the second half and conceded a goal against the runner play, I thought. But really worked hard to get ourselves back in the game. We created a forward momentum, we kept the game in their half of the pitch, played some good football in patches, created some good chances, and I thought it was a deserved equaliser when it came.
In results elsewhere in League Two, there was a big shock for early season favourites Bradford, who lost 3-1 away to Shrewsbury. After relegation last season, Wickham got off to a winning start in their return to League Two, beating Morecambe 2-0, while Oxford's first game back in the Football League ended in a 0-0 draw with Burton Albion. Our goal of the week comes from John Bostock for Hull against Swansea. Not a bad way to open your account on your home debut, and it gave the Tigers a winning start to life back in the Championship. Next week on the show, Leicester hope to bounce back from opening day defeat as they take on Gordon Strachan to Middlesbrough. And staying on top, can Neil Warnock's QPR continue their excellent start when they travel to his former side Sheffield United? See you then.